Well done, Blizzard. You actually made leveling a lot better going into Dragonflight. My name is Dogri, I'm back with another video, and I wanted to cover leveling in Dragonflight in 2022, of course, because I actually feel that they changed a lot. While they didn't really change quests or how you quest, or at least at the between level 50 and level 60, it will be changed because you will be able to do every expansion. It doesn't matter how you want to level, you can level through whole Cataclysm, so classic, or the whole Burning Crusade, or the whole Wrath of the Lich King without stepping foot into the Shadowlands, which is by itself a very good change. But I feel like the leveling, the progression that you are actually doing with your character from level 1 to level 60 is massive. Like how they changed it is actually something very good for the game. And let me explain. I'm going to show you guys a bit of gameplay here and there, but I'm also going to show you my screen at the moment and what you can expect going into Dragonflight if you want to level it back to level 60 before Dragonflight, or if you're coming back from for Dragonflight and you are going to level a new toon, what you can expect for leveling. Now, they changed the talent, like I would say, system to actually make it more enjoyable for the new players, but also for veteran players that are coming back to the game, but also just level 60s that are going to progress into level 70. Now I want to explain you guys how it works so you can actually understand how the talents are set up and how it is actually something good for the game, how it is set up. Now, let's talk briefly about the spellbook. There is a lot of changes. At level 1, you get not a lot of spells really. You get like Shadow Bolt as a warlock, and that's it. And then you get corruption, which is a casted ability if you're not affliction, because in affliction you will have to level up to get talent points. Basically, you will be level 16 before you get Xavian teachings to have corruption to be instant casts. And I know it feels a bit weird at first, especially if you're an affliction warlock main and you are actually like already in habit of having corruption being instant cast. But I'm going to explain why it's actually a very good thing, how they are actually set up the talent sections and the talent system and the leveling progress. At level 1 through level 10, you get only warlock spells, which are, for example, fear. You get also, for example, corruption. You get shadow bolt. You get a few like summons. You get imp. You get voidwalker at level 9. You get fell hunter a bit further down the line at level 21, I think, and summon Sayad or summon succubus at level 19. So you have like some spells, like for example, Unending Resolve is also a an active spell that you get through leveling. I think at level 5. Soul shards, you get like soul shards too between level 1 and 10, but you cannot really spend it because it's only going to be usable whenever you are level like actually level 10, being demonology, being affliction, or being a destruction warlock. And for me, the levels between 1 to 10 were quite slow. That's true, because you don't really have a lot of spells. You have also a lot of hurdles, especially if you are a caster. You will have to permacast a lot of spells. Corruption doesn't do a lot of damage, so you cannot really apply corruption to kill targets because your targets are going to be nearly impossible to kill just with corruption. You will have to do a lot of shadow balls to actually kill those targets. Although it is a lot simpler to level in Dragonflight compared to Classic, at least in Dragonflight, the targets that you are going to kill are going to be killed faster, but you will have a lot less spells to play with. So I think it's quite boring from level 1 to 10, and that's the truth. But at level 10, the talent section, the talent system opens up, and it makes it a lot more enjoyable to actually progress, because every level you get, you will have to spend either a point in your class tree or either a point into your spec tree. So at level 10, you get Demonic Circle from the get-go. That's a basic spell you get, and then you can spend 1 point either in Fell Domination, Burning Rush, or even a like demon skin or fell armor, so more survivability, and work your way through the talent tree. And then at the right side, you have the affliction tree, or the destruction tree, or the demonology tree, and you will have to spend your first point at level 11, where it is most notably one of those spells that are going to help you level. So you get Malefic Rupture. You get also a few things that are going to be baseline depending on the spec that you're playing. Like for example, Affliction, they get Agony from the get-go, so at level 10 you get Agony, and whenever you are going as a Destruction Warlock, I'm going to show you guys, your Shadow Bolt is going to turn into, of course, your Incinerate, and your Corruption or Agony, I don't remember, I think it's your Agony that is going to turn into... no, it's your corruption. Your corruption gets turned into immolate. So you don't have corruption as destruction warlock. You have immolate, and you will see that leveling as a destruction warlock is faster than affliction warlock because you need to ramp up with spells, with rotations to actually have a better like grip on the actual damage that you can produce as an affliction warlock, for example. But you get like spells baseline. They did that to actually give you a bit more leniency on the spec tree, because imagine you have to choose incinerate or immolate into the spec tree, it would be feeling a bit worse or a bit bad, because again you will have to spend a lot of points to have your core tree, your core spec spells. So really, I feel that this system it's a lot better than Shadowlands. I'm going to say that in Shadowlands, every 15 levels, I think every 10 levels, I don't remember. It's like it's a long time ago. You get actual spells. No, every 5 levels, excuse me. Every 5 levels, every 10 levels, you get some good spells or good passives, but that's it. You do get all the spells just by leveling, but it's sparsely. Sometimes it's every 5 levels, sometimes every 10 levels, and sometimes at level 40 you do get nothing else on your bar, so you don't really have anything to progress with. Even passives will be scarce just by leveling, so you will have only points to spend on those talent trees, which really you only have 9 points to spend, so you don't really have a lot of choices. But now every time I'm leveling, I'm looking forward for a new new talent to spend in the class tree or in the spec tree. For example, I'm going to show you guys my next point that I'm going to put as a destruction warlock is really simple. If I'm playing PvP, I would probably get Demonic Fortitude, or I'm going to play with Demonic Embrace. Chances are I'm going to play with Wrathful Minion. Why? Because I want to have Gateway, I want to have and progress into Shard of Fury, and then I will go to the left side where I'm going to progress into Teachings of the Satyr, because I do love Amplifier Curse, and go for Dark Pact, etc, etc, etc. So you will have to spend a lot of points to get your core abilities, but you look forward to it. It's not like you're waiting at level 40 to get Shadow Fury, or if you're waiting for a level 30 to spend talent points to get Dark Pact. No, now you have really control on the talents that you're going to put in. So I'm very, very fond of that. And just because of that, I'm actually enjoying more the leveling process. I also enjoy to do BGs. Every time I win a BG, I get a level, and then I know, okay, next BG I'm going to be lit because I have an extra like talent point to spend. I have an extra passive or an extra active. What I also like played around with is actually spending points on things that I would never spend on my level 60. For example, I tested Channel Demon Fire. It was actually very fun in PvP. And I think in PvE it was also very fun because I did immolate on every target. I put Channel Demon Fire, it does a lot of AoE, and people die really quick. I also went with a PvE build. Like for example, I have loadouts on my left. I have PvE build and PvP build. Whenever I do PvE build, I'm going to channel to change talents, and I will get the good Cataclysm talent, which is super good because it spreads Immolate on every target, and then Rain of Fire on them, and everything burns. And that's actually a very fun way to progress, to actually choose the talents that you are going to spend. And some talents were not available to you until very late into the game, like let's say Cataclysm, I think it was a level 45 talent, or Demon Fire was the like last talent that you actually could spend to use at level 50. I think at level 50 you get your last talent, You can have Demon Fire or even Dark Soul. Now Dark Soul is gone, but you had a choice, and never you were actually playing with Channel Demon Fire. And now you have it a lot sooner. You could basically get Channel Demon Fire, I think, at level 18, or at level, if I'm like not correct, I think level 17 maybe. Excuse me, like I'm not really sure on the level that you would get, but you could have spent Channel Demon Fire a lot sooner than whenever it was in Shadowlands. So you have a lot more like chances to test things. It is also super quick to change builds. Like you can make a PvP build, a PvE build. You are going to queue for BGs and dungeons, and whenever dungeon pops, you change it in a PvE build. Or whenever you get a PG and it's like Warsong Gulch, for example, let's go PvP. I'm going to go for my PvP build. It's laid out. I have Havoc. I have improved Emulate because you don't want to apply Emulate every time, and you get like your Conflag, Backdraft, and your good old Roaring Blaze, which is also a talent that you would have spent at level 45, I think, 45 or 40, I don't really remember, but it was on a later level that you would get that. So again, I think you have a lot more choices, and now this is an example on Warlock, but I think it would be the same for Warriors, it would be the same for Paladins, it would be the same for every spec in the game. And I'm actually very surprised. I was I think I was like everyone saying like, oh, the talents they're going to be very restrictive because you don't really have spells from your spell book. You will have to use talent points on things that you already had in game, and now you will have to spend it to get some kind of things that are actually going to be the same in game as in Shadowlands, but it is not the case. Like for example, I am very surprised on myself. I've made a PvE build for Affliction whenever I was playing dungeons. I played with a Seed of Corruption build, and I actually enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the gameplay. I also played it with this talent tree also in PvP, just because I wanted to spread dots with corruption, with Seed of Corruption, having Agonizing Corruption, and I think in 2 levels I would try Valtaint, and then I would try to spread out as much dots as possible on many targets and try to see them burn somehow, some way. So I'm testing a lot of things that I would not test if I was level 60, because I would have like a special build in my mind. I would think like Seed of Corruption is too much. But now I'm leveling, I'm trying a lot of things. I'm telling myself maybe at level 60 Seed of Corruption is not that bad. And maybe I would try it in RPGs and maybe it would work. But again, those things are actually like a learning process. You actually enjoy playing the game and leveling through the levels. Although the leveling itself is super fast because you get like a buff, which is Winds of Wisdom, so 50% increase, plus the 18% from an anniversary, plus also the war mode, which is 20%. Basically, everything you're doing, you're getting a level, and you're going to get level 60 very quickly. And especially with the level squish that is going to happen coming into the phase 2 of the pre-patch, it will like squish the experience bars except for the early 30 levels. After those early 30 levels, it will be even faster to level without those buffs. And I think it is the right time to come back into the game. Now, am I biased? I'm super biased, guys. I am a World of Warcraft PvP creator, so I love to have all my characters at level 60, all my characters at level 70, and just PvP all day long because I just love this game mode. And the more time I can spend in PvP and less in PvE, the better. So I don't really care how long the leveling is, but I do care enjoying my time whenever I'm leveling. I don't want to be like playing something and feeling like it's a job or a task that I do. But now I really enjoy the process. I'm leveling this warlock for the simple reason that I want to have a human warlock on a English server. I'm going to show you guys the characters that I have. It's Ravencrest. So I'm leveling a Alliance warlock on Ravencrest because I just want to have characters on English servers, because now I have everything on my French servers, which is not a bad thing, but I want to actually be able to find better guilds or or more PvP activity, and Ravencrest and also how it's called, Stormscale, are the better Alliance servers to get guilds, to get PvP action and such. So I chose Ravencrest because of my friends, and I told myself, look, why not spend all my time into creating like characters, trying to level it up, and also not spend a faction change, because then I have a human warlock and an undead warlock, and I could do more content, let's say for solo shuffle about one character, and one other character will be around 3v3 or RPGs, and vice versa. But again, I think it's very enjoyable to level like through the levels. I think but itself, it is just leveling. Leveling is like a trivial thing to do now in retail. It's super fast, like literally you can do it in one day if you are like playing Walls of Draenor and you're following a guide. There's many guides to level it fast, but this video is really to explain you guys how the talent system works and how it feels. And I'm going to say that it feels super good to play with my warlock, leveling, doing BGs, doing dungeons. Everything actually gives you XP, so that's also very enjoyable. You don't really waste any time by even gathering herbs, even trying to do your professions, even by doing PvP, or even just PvE by dungeoning or questing. I think it's fine. It's fine and it's fun. The only thing I maybe don't like is from level 1 to level 10. I think it's boring. Well, the thing I don't like as well, I think now with pre-patch, the phase 2, it will be removed, but I don't want to do Shadowlands, so I'm going to stop at level 50, and I'm going to go back at my character to actually level it through whenever the pre-patch is going to be out. The patch 2, the second phase. But by itself, everything you're doing, every level that you're progressing, you do get satisfying results by pressing an extra point into Nightfall. It's actually very fun. Or pressing or trying to get 2 points in Rift in Agony because you want to progress into Absolute Corruption, something that is going to be very fun to use in PvE but also in PvP. And then Soul Swap, and then you have your keystones here that are actually very, very soon for you whenever you're leveling. And everything you're doing is progress. I think it's very fun. While, for example, from in Shadowlands, from level 50 to level 60, you get your Covenant, you get your Conduits, not even your Conduits, I think your Conduits at level 60, you get your Covenant ability, you get some passives here and there, like for example, if you're a paladin, your judgment does more damage, or your avenging wrath has less CD or whatever, but it's only passives. You don't really choose anything. But now everything you're going to do, even from level 60 to level 70, you will be able to choose your talents, and it will feel like you're progressing into the game like a RPG should be. And you, the PvPer that is actually struggling with leveling, now should struggle a bit less, because you can PvP from level 1 to level from level 10 to level 60, even to level 70 if you really so desire, and you can progress every level with a talent point. And at level 70, whenever Dragonflight is going to come out and season 1 starts, you will just do PvP, 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 and everything will be alright. So thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate you. I hope you learned something today with the talent systems and how the leveling is actually feeling in 2022. At least with Dragonflight going to actually change a lot of things for PvPers, PvEers, even for gatherers and professions fanatics. I feel like Dragonflight is a great expansion to come back to WoW. I'm very biased. I think you should already know that by now. But I'm very like I'm enjoying my time with Dragonflight. So I hope you guys also enjoy your time with Dragonflight. Have a great day, guys. We will catch each other very soon with a new video, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.